Hey, it's Heather, and today is a very good day for an adventure in gardening. So let's go take a walk through the gardens. There's so much pretty going on in the middle of all this chaos, so I just want to take a minute and walk you through this top garden. This is a pot of that orange hat tomato with a very short dwarf dahlia that is behind schedule here. But isn't that the cutest little tomato? There's more on this side. That dahlia looks a little better. I cut back the pansies and the violas. This is the original pansy from March, still going strong. This is the only one that looks really good. The rest of them I cut back and transplanted into a shadier spot. The sweet autumn clematis is just filling up this whole arbor, my whole thing there. The mouse melon is climbing up. See it climbing? It's climbing up the sweet autumn clematis here. There's a few very tiny little, there's one, tiny mouse melons. We have eaten some, just a few. There'll be a lot more. The echinacea is just awesome. I had a huge gap in this garden for color between the iris and the echinacea, and now it looks great. So I'm gonna have to, this winter I'll do a little research on what I can put in this garden in between the iris and the echinacea. But back to the mouse melon. There they are, so cute. So the echinacea are waiting for the butterflies to come. I don't know what is going on. If anybody in other parts of the country can weigh in, where are the monarch butterflies? Because they're not here. I've seen 3 come through and they were just in a hurry just to keep on going north. So no one has laid any eggs on this massive, and you see how massive this milkweed is? Massive milkweed. I do have these little stinkers though. Where are you? Here. But I just let them stay because the monarchs aren't here. Nobody's laying eggs. Look at that cute little boy. He's in his playpen. So every morning I take and I put the rabbits outside, and every night I put the rabbits back inside because I just can't sleep at night if they're outside. All right, so before we go look at the cute boy. So bloomerang, second round of blooms going on. Looks really good. Whole lot of pretty and a whole lot of chaos. Here's the betony. Really pretty. Teucrium on this side. I love this as an edging plant. Isn't that nice? I think I'm going to try to save some seeds and see if I can start some for other places, but I really like it. It's a semi-evergreen too, so I mean it stays evergreen for most of the winter. When it's done blooming, I will take and prune it up. Harvested the St. John's wort for the most part the other day. There's still a little bit here, and I'm thinking of making oil infusion with the rest of it. Hey, cute boy. Boo Boo just got his hair cut, so I haven't really combed him out since I clipped him. Hi, cute boy. You're a cute boy. Oh, this shrub here. It has been in bloom since the end of May. It still looks really good. I love that red color. this marshmallow. I had to stake this. So little by little I have been digging up the phlox. See the phlox? There's so much tall phlox in here. This year I'm going to try really hard not to let it go to seed, so that it takes and pops its seeds and they go flying, and then I have lots more tall phlox. So I have been digging up the tall phlox as much as I can and putting some new perennials in, because I need a little bit of diversity. So I have some new perennials here. These are the carrots from last year, the ones that I'm saving seeds for. They're just really pretty. I think this was atomic purple or cosmic purple. I'll have to look at my notes. But yeah, we're gonna have lots of carrot seeds to share with people. And so speaking of carrots, I don't want to talk about it. It's too soon. I've had a hard time with carrots this year. The slugs ate the greens. Yeah, I hate slugs. But I have some beautiful hosta back here. Looking nice. The Sum and Substance. I mix my houseplants in with my garden. So on my list of things to do today, this is that hillside that I showed you, I think it was a month ago, maybe more than a month ago, that I plan on doing daylilies and iris on this hill. And so the iris are, not the iris, the daylilies are blooming. I have to show you some of these because they're super pretty. So this is a mess. I think of this as a mess. And just to give you a little history, so 2 years ago, I ordered 100 daylilies, and mail order. They came in, and I planted them on a Saturday morning. I cleared half of this hillside, planted them on a Saturday morning, worked my butt off. We had plans to go to dinner at a friend's house, and we were in a car accident. And so that summer, I never ever got back down on this hill because I just couldn't. And long story, but I have not. And then last year, when the daylilies should have been blooming, we got in another car accident. We got rear-ended twice. So yeah, so it wasn't our fault. But so I've never seen these daylilies because this is a kind of hill that only goats are happy on. It's a really steep hill. Anyway, so I have been in love this year, coming down and looking at these. Even though it's messy, man, some of these are so beautiful. I'm gonna try not to trip. Good plan, good plan. So I have some mulch I'm gonna be mulching. Look at how pretty they are. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I need to mulch, pull weeds, and then you can see where my line kind of ends right there. Right there. So yeah, I need to clear. But this is really pretty here from the top of the hill. You can stand here and you can see there's a log right down there out in the water, and you can see turtles on it all the time, or ducks on it. It's very pretty. Big old oak tree. I need to take some of this creeping phlox and rip it out because it's starting to go on the pathway. You can see how much has gone on the pathway here. Some liatris. More tall phlox. The tall phlox smells so pretty. I don't want you to think it. I just don't want it everywhere as much as it is. Hi, Pen Pen. Morning. So my sister, for my birthday, she got me a big pot of echinacea. It had 3 different colors in it. The other one's around the corner. But it's so pretty. I love this. So I ripped a bunch of the tall phlox out of here. And some of that yellow iris, this is where all the yellow iris were. And I transplanted a yellow buddleia, butterfly bush, right here. So this will be yellow, orange, yellow, oh, and purple agastache. So I really like that. Isn't that pretty? This is bluebird. I started these from seed last year. You can see I haven't deadheaded. Hello, there's my shadow. Hi, hi. I haven't deadheaded the iris yet. It's on my list. I spend most of my time watering and weeding, watering and weeding. There's the gooseneck. Here's that red echinacea. So I started yesterday trimming the grapevines back for the 3rd time this year. And man, they were like way unruly. So I got to get in here and finish. But look at the grapes. Grapes look good. Look at that mess. Oh, spiders and ticks. I just know there's spiders and ticks in there. I got to go stand in there. Lots of grapes. And this holly is massive. I need to trim this holly back, which I hate to do this time of year because I use it for Christmas greens, but it's overextending its area for sure. Oh yeah. So hopefully I'll get this done today. I like to walk around in the morning and make a plan. So the beets and some kale. Need to inspect this kale for cabbage moth worms. I don't see any. They're coming though. Horseradish. The peppers have really taken a hit this year. Those June beetles, oh gosh, I hate those things. Yep, hate, I hate. I have a long list of hate, I guess. I didn't realize how much I said I hate things. This is that broccoli, yod fa. You know, they say it's an easier broccoli. Oh, that bird is in my blueberries. Bird, go, you go shoo, go shoo. Oh, stinker. Yodfa broccoli, they say it's easier to grow if you can't grow broccoli. I'm just having a hard time knowing where to cut it. Like, you can eat the stalks and the flower, like the little flower heads. I don't see any flower heads right now, but nice looking plant. Planted it in early spring, and I've only had like a little bit of broccoli so far. Lettuce is still looking good. Well, some of the lettuce, I'm constantly replanting lettuce. See right there? This time of year, the only lettuce that I have as part of my collection that I start is the Marvel of Four Seasons, because it doesn't bolt right away. It doesn't go directly to bolt. These guys at Butter Crunch, yeah, that's Butter Crunch too. They're thinking about it. This one right here, thinking about it. Nothing goes to waste here though. If I don't eat it, the animals will eat it. And that, I'm probably gonna rip some of this up today and plant some basil. So I just did radish. What kind of radish, Heather? purple radish, and Marvel of Four Seasons lettuce. Yeah, I'm going to plant some basil in here, some cinnamon basil my sister gave me. That is Marvel of Four Seasons that I planted here in early spring. You can see it's just now starting to bolt. Okay, well, thinking about it, you can still eat it. Still good, still perfect. Lots of weeds. That's where I'm going to be working today, pulling that stuff out. This is either sanguine or I think this is the sanguine. Yeah, that's done. We're done. You don't, when it gets like that, it's not tasty. Not tasty anymore. The Simpson, black-seeded Simpson still looks really good. And here is my celery. So I'm gonna rip the black-seeded Simpson out to make room for this celery. That is finally starting to look like it's celery. There's a few of them in here. This is my first year growing celery. I think I started with, I don't know, 20 something plants, and now I have 6. I have 6. Potatoes. Did these potatoes flower? I don't remember. Yeah, I think they did. They flowered. So the peas got ripped out yesterday, and now I've replanted. See my little slug bowls there because I have new seedlings here. I do have one little row of carrots, and then I have cucumbers right there. When I pulled the peas, you want to dry your pea seeds for next year so that they're rattle dry. You want them to be really dry, and I've moved them all inside, and I can show you in a little bit. Because I'm going to lay them out, let them dry some more, and then I'm going to crack them open, and then I'm going to freeze them, and then I'm going to store them. But I had so many peas that went to seed that I'm going to use them for this winter for growing sprouts for the pea tendrils. So cucumbers, and this side I have a new bean that I planted that I ordered last minute. Here. Can't believe how fast it's grown. So I started these on June 27th. I started these on June 27th. You can see the cat, Penny, Penelope. Hey. My hand goes down, she goes for my hand. She's like, pet me now. Okay, you can see the little growing tips. When I first put them out, it was super hot, and the original leaves fried, but then they grew, so pretty impressed. This was my original string bean or pole bean that I was going to grow. You can see it's really up there. I had germination problem with this one. So I never judge the first year that this is a problem, green bean, I'm never going to grow this one again. I save my own seeds and then I try it again the next year. So I only ended up with 3, 2 of which are tall. I planted them in the peas and they worked their way up. So I've got 2 of those, and then I've got a whole row of the new one. On the other side here, there's some kale, some lettuce, and some rutabagas that I planted, and we'll see how that goes. But I'm going to do another crop of rutabaga in the next few days. Yeah, peppers and eggplants. Peen, get out of the garden. Nope, okay, fine. Peppers and eggplants have taken a big hit this year. I don't have anything going on. A lot of flea beetle damage though. A little bit more celeriac. This doesn't look as big as this celeriac down in the other garden, I'll show you. There are some carrots in here. This is my second attempt for carrots. This is where I pulled the garlic out. That's a cat trap. Not a cat trap, it's a cat don't go in my garden signal. Because I pulled the garlic out of here, and then I planted kohlrabi. So the kohlrabi was also started on June the 27th. This is my pollinator alley. I love this. It's just starting to come into its own. This is one of my favorite areas of the gardens, of the property. I love this. This is the mountain mint. Now, mountain mint is not a true mint. It's not in a true mint, but it is still something that you can use as a mint, and it makes the most wonderful ice cream. I've made ice cream with this one right here. So there's grasses. There's probably a little bit too many grasses growing this year, and grasses are shelter for your butterflies when there's a storm or rain. There's Joe Pyeweed right here, nice and big Joe Pyeweed. But I love this mountain mint. Well, it's just starting to flower. Yay! So excited. So any day now, this is going to be like, there's going to be so many pollinators on here. Love this plant. There's a big miscanthus right there. Oh, so this is the shed that I've got the grapes growing on. This is around all the way around the other side. So the grapes kind of end right there, and those are hops. Now hops, if you're going to plant hops, educate yourself. I keep it under control. Hops are like monsters. They have actually grown into the side of that shed and kept growing inside. I use hops for sleep. It's more of a sedating kind of sleep, so when you're like, it's a great medicinal plant. When you're like super anxious, you have a little bit of hop tea and yeah, you're all better. I've got some cannas in my 2 urns right here. I've got a hose on the stair. Oh, look, somebody left her bucket of weeds out. Keeping it real. I gotta follow me around, make sure I'm doing my job. So cannas in the urns. Another little tomato plant, some calibrachoa, and some succulents that I threw in there. Here's another big pot of sweet potatoes. This one, I know you can't really judge what's going on in the soil by what's on top, but this is the most vigorous vine. I have 2 big pots of sweet potatoes. This one is super full, and it's kind of pretty. I like it. Little seating area I have at the top of the hill, because not everybody wants to, when I have guests come, not everybody wants to make the walk down the hill, so I have a little bench and 2 seats here. Cucumbers. Cucumbers are so awesome. Love it. Red cardinal vine? No. No. Runner bean. I haven't had breakfast yet. It's looking really pretty, and I saw the first one. Look, right there. I have a spot in my heart for Queen Anne's lace, and it bites me in the butt all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna let this one just grow right here, and I'll cut it before it goes to seed. Look, it's already doing it right there. And then it makes more, like lots and lots and lots more, and then I have to weed it. That's okay. Loving how this Baptisia, like it's a Baptisia hedge right here, is filling in. I do not deadhead these. I love the way that the seed pods look as they mature. They turn almost like a dark, dark purple. That is Sweet Annie. Let's get a little closer so you can see that. I cut the Sweet Annie in the fall and bring it inside, and it's very fragrant. It's like a decorative little. It has a wonderful fragrance to it. Nettles right here, lots and lots and lots of nettles. They look awesome, right? And my celeriac is down here, and I planted cauliflower thinking that was a good place. Not a good place. See, I have a little diatomaceous earth on the cauliflower greens. I'm still hoping. We're gonna set up camp right here though for a couple minutes because I want to show you something that I do to flush the stink bugs out of the cucumbers. So this is a multi-purpose thing that I do in the mornings because I'm an organic gardener and I have stink bugs, and I've got cucumber beetles and Mexican bean beetles and stuff that I'm trying to keep at bay, because pesticides, people, if you're not going to put it in your smoothie, don't put it on the plants that you intend to eat the vegetables from. So this is just about control. If you've got kids, this is a great activity for the kids to do. So stink bugs don't like to get wet, I guess. I figured this out by accident. So this is a way of flushing them out. So I just take my hose and I put it at the base of the cucumber, or if I had zucchini, which I'm not growing, well, not growing yet. And then the stink bugs, they start to leave their little hiding places and they go up the vine, and then I grab them, but I don't really see any. And I just move the hose around. Where are you, stinkers? Oh, there they are. They're making more stink bugs. Yep. Sorry, buddy. Where's my jar? Yep. You're disgusting. So hand picking might seem tedious, but I'll tell you what, I don't like this one. Yeah. That one was wiggly. Hand picking, it works. It keeps things under control, and really, things could be so much worse. So I'll show you the cucumbers while I'm flushing out the stink bugs, which, well, I'll flush them out. I've got a few different varieties of cucumbers. I'm gonna look past my diatomaceous earth. This is that Puna Kira. More Puna Kira there. My Boston pickler. I've been growing that one for years. I love that. There was one. Oh, yeah. Okay. I don't remember its full name. See that? Natsu something. I'll find the name for you. Yeah. That one has not. I haven't eaten that one. I've eaten the other ones so far. And I just flip the leaves over, looking for eggs, for things I might have missed. Critters I might have missed. Oh, yeah. Did you just see that? The striped, oh yeah. Oh, I'm coming for you. That was a striped cucumber beetle, and they spread disease. They're the ones that do the wilted leaves. Yeah, which I have an issue on one of the Puna Kira. Look, right here. See that? So I've just been trying to take the leaves off best I can. All right, so I'm watering cucumbers a little more forcefully, and then I'll go on the other side and see if I flushed any of them out. I just want to make sure that if you don't already know this, we don't water the foliage of our cucumbers or our tomatoes. We water the base, okay? Otherwise, you're setting yourself up for a world of trouble. You want to keep disease at bay. You want to keep insects at bay. That's the name of the game. So you water the soil. That's why sprinklers, even though they're convenient, it's not such a great idea. And also the other part of watering it with sprinklers, if you're putting your sprinkler on in the morning and your vegetables, this is the time the pollinators come and pollinate for your vegetables, and your fruits and your vegetables. So you want to make sure you're not disturbing their time. I mean, they pollinate at other time. This is, okay, this is your big sister talking. Just don't do it. You want good pollination. All right, so now we're going to go on the other side where it's easier to see if any of the stink bugs have come out. I swear it has slowed down quite a bit. But I mean, I was like picking like 30 off a day. Stinkers. All right, where are you guys? Oh, there's a striped little jerk is what he is. Oh, you little jerk. I'm coming for you. He doesn't know. Huh. He doesn't know I come from a long line of very stubborn people. I will get you. I will find you. Hi, Pen. Looking for bugs. Gotta get out of the way. All right, there's another little. Oh, you little sticker. Oh, I broke my leaf getting them. Hi, Penny. Hi. The hostas really look good still. I have a couple new ones here. This one is gooseberry. Gooseberry sundae. I have one measly little flower on this hydrangea. One. This is another new one. Color Festival. I needed something bright for this corner, and I think that really did the trick. That ostrich fern is gorgeous. I want like 10 more in here. Yeah, this shade garden still looks really good. This is my tomato test garden here. You can see I got the little bags for seed saving. If you didn't get to see my tomato tour, I'll put a link down below on my tomato obsession, my tomato obsession. This is my other pollinator garden. I've seen hummingbirds. I've seen a couple of butterflies. Nothing. Like, where are the pollinators? Where are you, pollinators? I planted for you. It's more Augustaceae down here. Planted crispy Asian melons right here. This is a perennial hibiscus. I lost one already. I don't know if it was a disease or a vine borer, or I don't know. I think that's disease. But I have 3 more on the other side. These are old peas that didn't get ripped out because I still want to make peas. Gonna be planting more peas this week too for fall. Anemone, fall blooming anemone. There's that daylily. My dad and my stepmom made this for me. This is a amaranth that something had its way with it. Oh my goodness. But it's like, I don't care. I'm still blooming. There's that back side of the tomato test garden is my crop of green beans. This is provider green beans. And this is for canning specifically. I mean, some fresh eating, but canning. Started those also at the end of June. Tomatoes, oh, I cannot wait. Come on, tomatoes. In my hill garden, not too much going on right now for color. Got a little bee balm, that's new. Rose campion's done. Skullcap, I had this little caterpillar thing that totally had its way with it, but there's milkweed right there. Sometimes I will use BT for the little caterpillars in certain places, not when there's milkweed right there though, because monarch caterpillars are caterpillars as well as this caterpillar, whatever it was that did this. But look, life cycle's over. You can see all the new green tips here. It's all good. Yeah, don't kill people. Don't kill the butterfly caterpillars. Don't kill them. There's enough for everybody. I mean, there's a time and a place where you want to kill things, but I mean, kill caterpillars. This is not the time or the place. So usually by this time, I have monarch caterpillars all over this milkweed. There's nothing. In fact, we never get a chance to do this, to bloom. Oh my gosh. Sending out an SOS. Where are the monarch butterflies? This is my beach rose that my goal is to have it go that way, all right? Because I want the rose hips, plus I also want it for soil erosion. I want it to, like, I don't want to weed whack. I don't want to do that anymore. But I will have a nice crop of rose hips though this year. This is my bottle brush buckeye, okay. Stick, well no, let's see, it's been 2 years. I planted this 2 years ago and it was a stick, and it's finally starting to branch out here. And look, I have one bottle brush buckeye flower, one. That's okay. I'm excited. Have some, the elderberries are coming along. I have them in a couple different spots. Kiwi vine. Need to take and pin this up. So this is all blackberries, and they're the thornless blackberries, and I put them here along, against a fence. It gets sun later in the day, but soon. Yeah, these don't really make it in the house. So all of these tips, the new growing tips, I learned last year that I need to take and top them so that they branch out, and then you have more berries next year. So I'll be doing that this week as well. I picked up these chairs at a tag sale. I paid $1 a piece for them, and they're just kind of cool looking. That's an old well cover here that I have my sweet potatoes on. Here's some more Queen Anne's lace. There's that little orange hat tomato. There's a pile of peas I left there, and that's my jar that I put my bugs in. It's my collection. Nice. I actually broke records, my own records, with the dahlias this year. And I had my first blooms on June 1st, which is like crazy. Usually you have to wait about until right now or August before you get blooms, you know, but I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that I couldn't put them out when I wanted to put them out, and they sat in the greenhouse as those bare tubers on the ground. But I just wanted to show you, this is buckwheat that I keep planting. I just let it self-sow. Every year I leave a few plants. It's pretty, and the pollinators love it. Now I am having some problems with earwigs on my dahlias, so I'm going to make up some tuna salad and save the tuna cans with some tuna juice and make some homemade traps, because I don't like it. This is a pretty one here. Look, this is what they do. This is what the earwigs do. They just destroy the blooms and they make a mess of the foliage. And then they leave their little droppings on my flowers. All right, so because of our new construction that we've done the last few years, I haven't really done anything with, we're going to have a bed on either side of the stairs in the front. So this year we decided just to put some petunias and some Dusty Miller in, and then I put my calocasia, and I was whining quite a bit about how long it took for the calocasia to come up. I started out with one calocasia, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, and it just has multiplied like this. But they will be as tall as me in no time. Well, honestly, they'll be as tall as me, and I need to weed. It's a mess in here, but it's gonna be pretty. I mean, if you can picture it, really tall elephant ears through here. My big pots, they look good. This is a dahlia, and I didn't actually stake this one. Everything else is staked. Coleus that I started myself. There's one in the back. I don't know why I put it in the back. These are from my kitchen, and myrtles, and I put them outside in the summer. Love that one. That's gorgeous Coleus. And there's more on this side. Another pot. Same Coleus. Oh, and in the front of these pots, and it really didn't work out here, is that little tomato. Well, I mean, there's tomatoes. I was hoping it would, you know, grow faster than the dahlia, but soon I'll be able to see the blooms on this one. Oh, and the Coleus that I started that looked really terrible over by the electric box. There's my composter. That's for vegetable scraps. Look at how nice. Got my calocasia. Got all my different Coleus growing, and I'll be taking snips from these and putting them inside in my little board that I use for cuttings, so that I can carry them through the winter. It's just this whole cycle. It's a great plant. Coleus, the whole family. So it's been a little bit since I talked about the hugel culture, the hugel bed that I planted. This is my second year planting this hugel bed. The second one is back there, so I'll eventually I'll have like one here and like slightly down lower another one. But it's going to be a few years before that back one is done. But the idea is I don't have to water as much, and I really haven't watered this as much. This is a pathway, that's the flower garden, and that's the Daylily Hill is, oops, the Daylily Hill is that way. So yeah, it's been, everything that I put in here has just been super low maintenance, and the best crop of arugula I've ever had at this time of year is right here. I just can't get over it. We are eating arugula in our salads like all the time. There's green beans right here. I just picked them the day before yesterday. There's not a lot of green beans in here, but there's some. And those are potatoes. My friend Chris Newton, he gave me a bunch of Kennebec potatoes to put in, which I normally don't plant. I really don't plant a lot of potatoes, but I thought, well, let's just give it a shot. And this is supposed to be a real good keeper one. We usually eat all of our potatoes, you know, by Christmas time, or, you know, something like that. I also have in this hugel ground cherry plants that came up all by themselves. I start ground cherries from seed for my Cheeky Tomatoes business, where I sell the organically grown open pollinated and heirloom tomato plants. But I have found that the best looking ground cherry plants come from those that self-sow. There's flea beetle damage. I know that there's flea beetle damage. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do about that in years to come, but man, I just don't like it. I don't like the way the foliage on the eggplant, on the peppers, on the tomatoes. I don't like how it looks, but it's not everywhere. So here are the ground cherries, and you know that your ground cherries are, ready when they fall on the ground. So, none yet. Lots of weeds. Oh, and I have some peppers down here too. So lots and lots of arugula. Look at this ground cherry. This ground cherry is huge. So I didn't plant any of these. The lamb's ear in this bed is just about ready to get cut back. It bloomed beautifully through the month of June, and now it's going to start to flop, so I'll be cutting that back, so all you'll see is the silver ground cover part. My coal frames, I have my arugula tied up for seed here, lettuce for seed, dill for seed, Swiss chard for seed, kale I'm still eating. There's the ground cherries I started from seed. You can see the difference there. My citrus are all out here. That's my bay tree. This bay tree we received as a wedding gift from a friend. It needs to get trimmed up a little bit. That is, you know what, I'm going to show you the houseplants in a different video so you can see them at summer camp, but that's an Australian finger lime right there. That's a fig with my one and only fig ever on it right there. And then I've got some rosemary. And I let plantain just grow wherever it wants to. This is the bed I planted the turnips in. The sweet potatoes are on the back right there. The turnips are still, there's still turnips here. I'm going to be starting the fall crop. This is the week that I'm going to be starting the fall crop seeds for the most part. I'm not going to do the watermelon radish yet, it's too soon. But you can see my turnips. They've been delicious. So before the turnips got too big, I planted some basil in here so that when I pulled the turnips out, I would have something already here. So basil's just starting to look like something. My sister's basil looks awesome, but mine not so much. Those are the watermelon radishes I planted in the spring. Remember I said I'm either going to have watermelon radish or a really nice crop of seed? I got a nice crop of seed. I want to show you this side garden here, which is super messy. Like, someday I'm just going to pull everything out and start over. This Caryopteris on the corner, I like that. And then that daylily doesn't belong there. And then, you know, the grass. But I grow plume poppies here. This is outside the kitchen window. And the reason that I let them grow, my husband does not like the plume poppies. I love plume poppies. The reason I let them grow is because they have a beautiful fragrance to them. They're just so fragrant. And the bees just love them, and they'll stay like this through the fall. Can you see all those bees? Sometimes there's so many bees you can hear them from inside the house with the windows closed. So they're really tall, I don't know, 12 feet. I do pull them when there gets to be too many of them, but I like them here. I have the Aster tartarticus right there. That's a thug. Everything in here is a thug, and someday I'm just going to rip everything out and start over. And another day I want to show you the houseplants, but that's where I keep, so that's really shady over in here. My wood piles back there, and there's a lot of houseplants tucked in there, and those are the cherry tomatoes right there, my cherry tomato border, which I talked about all the tomatoes, all the different varieties that I have in a video that's linked below. Got my little more slug traps down here. But for the most part, I couldn't ask for a better year for gardening. There's always going to be challenges, but that's part of the adventure. So I hope that you're enjoying your summer and your gardens as much as I am. I'd love to hear from you, and let me know how things are going for you in your garden this year. If you liked what you saw today, give me a thumbs up and subscribe so we can stay in touch and you don't miss out on the next adventure in gardening. See you soon.